Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we will be talking about the new Traceless Soft Matte Foundation from Tom Ford. This foundation just released last week, and this was one of those releases that I've been waiting for because I was curious to try. It is a soft matte finish foundation that works for all skin types. It is Tom Ford, it is luxury. The price is a little steep, so I wanted to see what the hype was about and review it for you guys. I'm going to give you my first impressions, and we're going to be doing a wear test on this foundation as well that I'm really hoping you guys will enjoy. Before we get started, if you're new to my channel, my name is Patty. Welcome. I hope that you don't leave without subscribing, and if you guys like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. With that said, let's talk about this new Tom Ford foundation. Okay guys, so here's the foundation. As you can see, brows are done, and we're going to do the rest of the makeup on camera. This right here is the new Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. It comes in this fancy bottle right here. This Tom Ford foundation retails for $88. The last time I reviewed a foundation from Tom Ford, it was the $150 one. That was crazy. This one, $88. Still expensive. It's like double the amount of like regular high-end foundations, but at least it's not $150, you know. This is the beautiful Tom Ford fancy box that it comes in, and then when you get it out of here, it has this type of bottle. You open it up right here. I did already try it a little bit the other day. I wore it for like maybe 30 minutes just because I was so excited and I wanted to try it. What I do like about these foundation bottles is that mechanism that like cleans the bottle as it pulls the makeup up, because I feel like I'm getting every single drop of the makeup that I paid for. So I do really enjoy this type of packaging. It is a plastic bottle. And let me go to the Sephora website and read the claims of this foundation. This says it is a soft focus matte foundation with a hydrating silky formula and medium to full coverage that lasts all day. It has a matte finish, and it is claiming to be for all skin types including dry skin. As far as the highlighted ingredients, it has hyaluronic acid, which hydrates and supports the skin's natural moisture barrier. It has an active blend of antioxidants, so it has vitamin C, E, and caffeine. It also claims to be a very comfortable wear, and it has soft focus microsphere powders that diffuse and blur the light. If you look at the Sephora description, it is also free of a bunch of ingredients that I guess shouldn't be in foundation, like parabens and phthalates and things like that. There's like a dozen there, so go check them out. And then I also always like to read this part. It says Traceless Soft Matte Foundation provides with a matte finish without looking cakey or dry. Soft focus microsphere powders blur the look of imperfections, and wear extending pigments provide a medium to full buildable coverage. Skin still looks and moves like skin and feels smoother every time, even after foundation has been removed. It says the formula is also humidity and sweat resistant, dermatologist tested, non-comedogenic, and it is designed for all skin types. I do have mostly dry skin. I sometimes get a little shiny on the forehead, but my cheeks are very dry. So whenever I see matte foundation, I stay away. But this matte foundation says it is good for even dry skin. So of course we will put that to the test. Before I put it on, I'm going to prime my face and also hydrate it with Magic Cream. Magic Cream is mainly a moisturizer, but it also primes your skin for makeup. So this is what I want to use today, because since it's a matte foundation, I want to have a very clear understanding of how it wears before I start combining it with other primers. Alright, I'm gonna get the hair out of the face, and I want to see whether I prefer it with a brush or a sponge. So I have my number 47 from Sephora collection right here, and also a beauty blender. I'm going to do one side with a brush, one side with a sponge, and then determine what I like better so I can let you guys know. The color I got is the color Vellum, which is 2.7. I got this color because I got matched with the Tom Ford Traceless Protecting Foundation that has an SPF. It comes in the same packaging, same price. Since I work at Nordstrom, I just went to the Tom Ford counter and matched myself with that one. I assumed that the colors would be the same, and I don't know if it's the lighting or what it was, but this is much darker than what I thought I was getting. I'm of course going to make it work regardless, but disclaimer, this is a little dark. Alright, so I'm going to do a couple pumps on the back of my hand right there. And I'm going to start with the brush side right over here. It smells like lavender. I feel like all Tom Ford foundations might have this same smell because they're super expensive. 150 foundation also smells like this. I don't dislike the smell of lavender. I also don't love it. So I myself am a little indifferent to the smell, but if you hate how lavender smells or anything like that, you might not love this one. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. I blended it all the way down again just because it's a little darker than I expected. I think it applied very nicely with the brush. Let's see if I prefer a sponge instead. Oh, it gets darker as it dries down. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but this is the new little pump, and then the one that's a little bit more far down is the old one, and the one that's been on the back of my hand for longer was darker. So it gets a little darker after you put it on, so maybe that's why I thought it was a little too dark, maybe just because it dries down to a darker color. It definitely has a really nice medium to full, I would say, definitely coverage. And I think the sponge side definitely has a little bit less coverage, which is normal. That's, you know, usually what happens when you use a sponge. I do feel like the sponge side looks a little smoother. In this one I see like a little bit more texture. I looked very close in the mirror, so you might not see the difference, but I do think that I like to use the sponge side a little better because it looks smoother. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like up close, and then I might just smooth this side over with the sponge. Let's get close and personal so that you guys can see what this is looking like. Alright, let me lower the light. I think that's good enough. Okay, this is the brush side. And the sponge side. And I'm going to just smooth over the brush side with the sponge, just because I did notice that little bit of like more texture on this side for some reason. Right here where I have my breakouts, I would definitely prefer a little bit more coverage because some of the redness is still peeking through, but I also don't want that to look cakey. So I don't know if I should do another layer. I mean, it did claim to be not cakey, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do one more layer right there. I've been taking really good care of my chin acne. This is literally the first time I put makeup over it, and I am going to just leave it there all day because I want to do a good foundation review for you guys. It actually built up really nicely, but it didn't get to a full coverage. I still see some of the redness poking through, but I feel better about this than before. Let's keep going with the makeup. I'm going to use my Pat McGrath concealer today. And I'm going to blend it in with my sponge. I sometimes don't reach for the Pat McGrath concealer because it's not super light with my foundations that actually match me, but since this foundation is a little darker, it looks perfect. And I did a little bit on the center of my face as well. I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, and I'm just going to blend it in with the sponge real quick. As far as a first impressions on this Tom Ford foundation, I don't feel like it has a super matte finish. Like, I think it actually has a more natural finish, I would say, because it definitely did not leave me flat looking, if that makes sense. Which I'm okay with because I usually don't tend to love the matte look, but if you buy this one thinking it'll give you that super flat matte look, it's definitely not going to do that. And as far as the foundation being natural looking, I agree that it looks natural, but it's not the most natural medium coverage foundation I've tried. The Pat McGrath foundation, for instance, is a lot thinner. It has a medium coverage and it looks just like skin. With this one, you can definitely tell you have a little bit more makeup on, you know? For setting powder, I'm going to use my Pat McGrath Under Eye Setting Powder. And I'm going to apply the Pat McGrath powder right underneath both eyes. I'm also going to like set my eyelids with it because I did put concealer up here. And then I'm going to get my Pat McGrath powder, and just with a little bit of it, I'm just going to touch right here where we have like little pores next to the nose, and also a little bit right here in the center of the forehead. I know this is a little extra, but I truly love combining these two powders because I think the Pat McGrath is just like perfection for right where my under eyes crease, and this one just is so good at like blurring out any pores and stuff. I love it. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to also do a little bit of Charlotte bronzer. I'm going to get a little bit of that and just put it over kind of like where we contoured. This bronzer is made with the same formula as her powder that like blurs the pores, so it's also amazing. I was thinking, I feel like this is one of my all-time like favorite bronzers I've ever tried. It's so good. And I'm doing the sides of my nose as well. Also from Charlotte Tilbury, I'm going to use the Pillow Talk blush because I'm just obsessed and you can't stop me. I feel like I need to up my blush game, so I start using different blushes, but knowing me, I might buy a bunch of blushes and still use this one. I've also been really liking the like non-blush blush that came in that Natasha Denona palette. That one's awesome, but it's a cream, so I don't want to do that one today. I'm just gonna do blush everywhere. And for highlighter, I'm actually going to use the highlighter from the palette I was talking about. So this is the blush that I've been loving, which is a cream. And then I've also been loving the powder highlighter from this little quad from Natasha Denona. So that's what I'm going to put on today. I totally forgot that I was going to put bronzer on my crease, so I'm going to just do that with the M504 from Morphe and the Charlotte bronzer. Just contour that crease of the eye a little bit, and I'm putting a little bit right underneath my lashes. Okay, so the base is done. I think looking up close, things look really good. I've been trying so hard to work through my setting sprays because I have so many in my drawer, and I definitely do not need any more new ones, but you know, this happened the other day, and of course the new one's the one I want to use today. So I'm going to do it. This is the Max Fix Plus in the Rose scent. So this is what I'm going to set my face with. There we go. I'm officially done with complexion. It looks nice and natural as far as the first impressions after like everything's applied and everything. So far I like it. I don't think it's super mind-blowing to me. It has a really nice natural finish. I wouldn't consider this a matte finish. It feels very comfortable on my skin. It's wearing very nicely. I'm going to wear it for an extended period of time today and just kind of check in and tell you how things are going throughout the day. But so far so good. I'm going to give you another close-up in a minute so you can see what it looks like freshly applied with everything that we did on top. It did not move, it did not budge, it didn't like lift up when I applied any of the products. It's nice. The only thing I would say it's making me personally not love it is that I don't feel like it's a super thin foundation. I like thinner foundations a little better because I feel like they look a little more skin-like. But besides that, I have no complaints about anything else. So let me show you up close what things are looking like. Okay, so let me lower the light again. Alright, here's a close-up. I think it looks very nice, but just, I don't know. I'm not mind blown by it, I guess. Let me go ahead and do some mascara off camera real quick. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back with mascara on. I've had a lot going on today, and it's literally been 2 hours since you last saw me without mascara. In my defense though, I was also filming a mascara video. So this is the Dark Star mascara by Pat McGrath that just came out, and I'm comparing it to the original, and that video is already up because I intend to upload it before this one, so I'm going to go ahead and link it up there if you guys want to check it out. But mascara is on, and it's been 2 hours since I last talked to you, so I guess we can consider this my first check-in as well. The makeup is still wearing very nicely, no complaints. For a foundation that has a natural or like soft matte finish, it looks really nice after 2 hours on my skin still. It hasn't gotten dry or cakey or anything like that. So far so good, and I will check in with you guys later. Maybe later I'll have some kind of update. For the moment being, it's still just nice, nothing mind-blowing. I am back, and it is 11:25 p.m. As you probably noticed, I had no check-ins because nothing changed. I feel like I really didn't have any updates about the foundation that I wanted to share. It looks pretty much like it looked when we first put it on. It wore very nicely. It's been around 10 hours now since I've had it on, so it's definitely a very long-lasting foundation because it like has not moved at all. I don't feel like I got oilier than I was when I first put it on. It just kind of looks exactly the same. I think to me the only negative thing about this foundation is that it kind of looks a little painted. It doesn't look skin-like to me because I can see a layer of makeup on top of my skin, which with other foundations that are a little bit thinner doesn't happen. I feel like with the Pat McGrath foundation, the Magic foundation by Charlotte Tilbury, the Estee Lauder Futurist foundations, all of these are like a little bit thinner, and I kind of prefer that thinner consistency that doesn't look like a layer of makeup on. This one to me looks a little bit more makeup-y, but besides that I have nothing else to complain about. It wore beautifully. It still looks good, but I do have to take it off now because I have to be at work at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So I guess these are my final thoughts. I definitely don't think it's a matte foundation. It has at most a soft matte finish. To me it looks more like a natural finish, and it does probably work for all skin types because I'm very dry and it worked really nice on me, honestly. Do I think it's worth the $88 that they are charging you for it? I don't think so. I prefer other foundations that are cheaper to this one. I'm going to leave you guys a list of my favorite foundations below in case you guys are interested, and I'll also leave you a link for this one in case you're interested in this one. So I think that is all I have to say. Definitely don't feel the need to go out and buy this one. If you see it in a local Sephora or Nordstrom, get a sample of it, see how you like it personally a little better. Let me show you what it looks like up close after a bunch of hours so you guys can see that as well. Oh, see, this is why this is important. Now that I'm looking at it in the lower light, I definitely think it did get a little bit shiny. So maybe if you have oily skin, you wouldn't like this one. Like I said, nothing super impressive about it. Do not feel the need to go out and spend $88 on this. Here's what I'm going to do. Not only am I going to leave you guys a list of my favorite foundations below, but I am also going to leave you links to my videos where I'm reviewing those foundations so that you can see how those wear on me if you're interested in any of those. Alright, I think that is all I have to say. If you guys like this video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of the foundation and how it wore. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye!